how you can get started with real estate investing.
Everybody eats. Everybody eats.
I ain't eating.
You ain't eating? What you mean you ain't eating? You ain't making this paper, man? Everybody eating.
I gotta eat, man.
You are listening to the Everybody Eats podcast. Now for your host, Mr. AJ Simmons.
And this is for beginners, a very beginner guide, because I'm not necessarily a real estate guy, but I do some real estate investing. I have some real estate experience, and I was asked to touch on this more, so here we go. Alright, so if you really want to get started in real estate investing, let's go over a few things. First things first, I'm not talking about being a real estate agent, okay? Not being an agent, but actually investing in real estate, owning some property and renting it out, or doing maybe some flipping or whatever. Okay, so the first thing is you need to know that your credit score doesn't necessarily have to be perfect, okay, to get started in real estate. An FHA loan minimum credit score requirement is a 580. Most people don't know that, but it's only a 580. And then they also have government programs out there that will allow you to do zero down instead of 3.5% down. They actually let you do zero down on an FHA loan, and most of the time for those programs, the minimum credit score is a 620. Okay, so now that we got that out of the way, the first way that I want to tell you about how to get started in real estate, because the way that I used was to use a FHA loan and buy, whether it be a single family or multi-family property, but you can use a FHA loan to buy a multi-family property that houses up to 4 units. Okay, once it gets over 4 units, then it becomes a commercial property. Okay, but up to 4 units, you can use a FHA loan in it, but you just have to say that you're going to live in one of the units for up to a year, which you may want to do, because now you live in rent-free, mortgage-free, okay, because the other 3 tenants are paying your mortgage for you, okay? So that's really all it takes. And that's how I got started with mine. So I bought a house, single-family house, with an FHA loan, stayed in it for a year, lived in it just to get that I own a house feel out the way, because everybody got an itch inside of them, because they sold us that American dream. But so I did that for a year, and also to comply with the law. Once that year was up, I wrote a letter to the mortgage company, let them know that I was going to rent it out, because it was a government-backed mortgage company, and let them know I was renting out, and I rented it out. I charged $1,200 for rent, which by this time I really should be raising the rent, but I got such a good tenant I don't. And the mortgage is about $800 a month, so a $400 profit every month for a rental property. Okay, so that's one way you can do it. That's a very simple way. You don't need to know any type of real estate terms. You really need to know a whole lot to do that. That's very simple. Okay, you don't even really need a property manager to do that way. You can just be a landlord. I recommend you get a property manager from the beginning, just because that way you won't have to worry about coming up with the lease yourself, collecting rent, because when it comes time to collect rent, and if you're like me, you have compassion, you like to relate to people, and so when they go through problems, they try to explain to you, you're going to feel sorry and just take what they can give you, versus versus a property manager who doesn't care. They're just trying to do their job so that they can get paid. They can handle that for you. Okay, so there you go on that. Another thing that you can do to get started in real estate is bird dogging, or what they call wholesaling. Okay, now I don't know a ton about it, so I'm not about to go deep into that, because I've never done it before. But to my understanding, all it simply is those are the people who put those "We Buy Houses" signs out in the streets, and they say "We Buy Houses." So what their goal is to get the person that's trying to sell the house at a very low price. They sign them under a contract, and then they hurry up and get that contract and get a buyer for that contract that actually does have cash to buy that house. Okay, so that's pretty much how I believe that works in a nutshell. Like I said, I've never done it, but it's just something to look up. So look up bird dogging or wholesaling. They're the same thing. Okay, another way to get started in real estate is find a hard money lender. Okay, Now with hard money lenders, they do like to work with people who are more experienced. However, as long as you can show them that you know your facts, you done your homework. It's all about the numbers with them. It's a numbers game. If you find you a multifamily property, it could be commercial property, whatever it is, and you show them, hey, this is the return on investment, this is that, this is this, here's your risk, and all type of technical terms and numbers, and I forgot the actual detailed report that you're supposed to show them. But as long as you can do that, they really don't care. Your credit score, none of that has anything to do with it when you're dealing with hard money investors, okay? So if you want, so that's another way to get started, and I'm talking about without putting minimal money down and without having real good credit, okay? So hard money lenders. Then another way that you can also do it is they also have private money lenders, but anyway, it's like these companies around that will actually finance your real estate deals even if you don't have good credit. I know one that I had locally where I was living was, as long as you didn't have bankruptcy or judgments on your record, they will finance you regardless of credit score, as long as the deal was good. So a lot of times, these people who are willing to finance deals for you really are just looking to make sure that it's a good deal, that the money is there, and that you know what you're doing and what you're talking about. That's it. Okay, so the money is out there. People will invest, but you just gotta put your money. You just gotta be able to know what you're doing. You know what I mean? You gotta be able to make the deal happen. Okay, so I'm not going to speak too much more on that, but like I said, getting started in real estate, like a lot of people will email me and ask me what they should invest in, or they'll say they want to get a cleaning business, but they want the cleaning business to run on autopilot or whatever the case may be. But when I try to tell people is, with any business, it's not real estate. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to put in some work. So if you really want to just make passive income, then maybe you shouldn't be looking into a business. Maybe you should be looking into real estate, okay? So that's why I wanted to speak on that too as well. And like I said, as we all know, it's a good way to create some passive income. And then you can also flip houses as well. But the big thing I want to let you know is your credit doesn't have to be perfect, and you don't need a ton of cash up front. Because like I said, if you get a zero down mortgage, then all you really need is the cash for the closing costs, okay? So, and you can even borrow for that. So that's all I got for y'all. Hopefully that was able to help. Thank y'all for watching. Subscribe, like, and share, and comment. And if you want me to speak more about that, give me a specific topic on the real estate, and I'll do my best to cover that. All right, so thank y'all again. This is AJ Simmons, and I'll talk to y'all soon.